What is up, guys? Today I am bringing you something pretty funky actually, which is an aggressive singleton or Highlander Paladin deck. So this one I haven't actually seen on the ladder really at all, so I thought it'd be a cool one to show you guys. This deck is mostly the creation of Trump with a few changes that I have made. So we'll go through the deck quickly. As you can see from the curve here, I'm super heavy on the early game with 10 1-cost cards, all just really strong independent cards. Argent Squire, Beaming Sidekick, which really lets you high roll early. If you're on the coin, you can go 2 1-drops on the first turn, or turn 2 you can go 1-drop into another 2 1-drops, which is crazy. Blessing of Might, just a strong card to apply pressure. Blessing of Wisdom, another card that can be really good early game when you're small minions, when your opponent doesn't have a clear. The Brazen Zealot, which can get huge really fast, which is really strong, obviously, if you're downing a lot of 1-drops in the early game. Crystology to keep that early game board presence going. The Glowtron, which is a really strong 1/3 for 1, which also has some pretty good mech synergy with the rest of the deck. A Jar Dealer, just a 1-mana card that gives you another, which is really good with the Magic Carpet, which is down here. A Mekaru, again, another good mech synergy. Mermaid, sticky early game minion. And that's all the 1-drops. We get into the 2-drops. The Micro Mummy, obviously another sticky one to buff up the board. The Sand Wasp, just good refueling again. These two here, the Sir Finley and the Zephyrs, are the two, I guess, real reasons to run this deck. The Sir Finley can give you those really good aggressive hero powers. The Warlock, drawing a card for without taking damage, is really good. The Rogue Weapon is good. The Paladin upgraded hero power is good. The Mage, the Hunter, all very good. So they're really nice to have. And then obviously Zephyrs can provide you with lethal, more board presence, board buffs, etc. And then as we go through the second higher part of the deck, like I was saying before, we've got this Magic Carpet, which is super good with all the early game. The Salad's Pride, again, synergizes with all those 1-drops that we have in the deck. The Snip Snap and Annoyo module, again, more mech synergy. And then getting into, we've got Consecration, just as a tiny bit of board clear and often just acts as 2 damage to face. Replicating Menace, again, with mech synergy. The Weapon, Leroy for some serious burst. Ziliax, again, weapon magnetizing for hitting the face. And then the last 4 cards are kind of optional. I've got a Lay on Hands here. A lot of people are running Octosari, which is definitely better. I just don't have it, and I'm not really willing to craft it just for this deck. So instead, I still need some card draw, so I've got Lay on Hands here. And then Tyrion, that's kind of a must-have as well. And then Alexstrasza and Khan here, kind of optional, just some kind of big late game cards. I've picked these two. Alex can be good if you spent the early game controlling the board against another aggressive deck, and you built up the board, then you can Alex and really get them down quick. So that is the deck. Let's get into some games. My record with this deck is pretty good. I've gone like about 10-2 or something so far, so not a lot of games, but pretty successful. This is the first, my first video of the month of September, so we are back up a little bit higher in the ranks. So let's get into it and crush some ranks. Alrighty, so this is game 1 of 2 short games. Like I said, this is a pretty aggressively oriented deck, so the games typically aren't lasting too long. As you can see here in the mulligan, the Beaming Sidekick is always a keep, super strong card in the early game, really allows for good trades. And I've picked up a Mekaru +2 bigger cards. So against the Druid, pretty much always assuming here that he's Crest Druid, and very quickly we see that he is. Which tends to have a super slow early game. I know they have the bees and they can wrath and hero power, but for the most part, a really good deck to come up against with this aggressive singleton deck, just because they really can struggle. Once they get that hero power off, the quest off, sorry, they are pretty well good to go and they can handle just about anything. So it is super important that you basically are winning the game by turn 4 or 5 in this matchup. I'm just going to keep playing out my guys, developing a pretty strong board here. I can coin Blessing of Kings next turn, or I can coin a weapon if he chooses to play a minion. So looking pretty strong at the moment. He did not start with the coin, which means that he's only got, this is only his second turn. Second tick of the quest, which is good. He's just going to Wrath my Mekaru there. So here I have a couple of options. I have three 4-cost cards that I can choose to buff up. I choose to do the mech just because I have this annoy module in hand, which can be really good on a big mech, either a favorable trade or just a really sticky minion that's going to be difficult for him to kill. So again here, he's not got a lot of options. Bees is probably the best thing that he could play on turn 4 if he still wants to get the proc of his quest, which I'm sure he does, because that's when the huge power spike comes. He's just going to play the Worthy Expedition, hopefully hoping to discover something good here. Again, there's not a lot of cards that are going to be able to help him out here. So he chooses to play the Crystal Merchant here. Again, a really strong card, but a super weak tempo play for him, which I am absolutely going to be able to take advantage of here. I can True Silver and kill his minion as a way of stopping him drawing cards, or I can just play this Annoy module, which is what I end up doing, and send everything face. So he's down to 13 life. I have 9 damage on board plus 4 in hand, which is exactly the 13 I need. So provided he can't do any clearing here, I will be able to take the win, or if he can heal as well. So like I said, against this quest druid, you really need to be taking the win super early into the match. So what I've done here, I've gone super aggressive. I chose not to trade with this merchant here, even though obviously him drawing cards is a good opportunity for him to be able to deal with. So he's made a mistake there. He's played Zephyrs, and he clearly has some duplicate in his deck. So he is going to concede there. I am going to take the win, and that is game number 1. As you can see, we're chilling at rank 6 at the moment. So game 2 here is a few games later. I think I went unbeaten all the way to about mid rank 5, which is where this game is taking place. So again, just going to keep the beaming sidekick off the mulligan and hope to draw another one, which I do. So lucky me. Up against a Hunter here. Hunter can be a bit challenging for this deck. Most of the Hunters running around at the moment are the Highlander, Singleton Hunter, similar to what I'm playing with this Paladin deck, although more of a mid-range than an aggressive variant. There are a couple of Paladins which are just the Secret Paladins and aren't the Singleton decks, but for the most part the Highlander Paladin is the most popular. So I actually managed to draw another one here, which is really nice. Gives me the opportunity to play out these 2 ones together. The 2-drop Swamp, the Sand Swamp Queen that I've got in my hand is always super nice. On turn 2, 3, or 4, you can just play it on 2. You can play it on 3 with one of the one costs that it generates, or you can play it on 4 with both of the 1 costs that it generates. So a super nice flexible card here. It really helps you fill out your curve there. He's going to play the Secret Keeper, and then by the looks of it, coin a secret. The secrets can be super damaging against my deck. Like if this is a snake trap, that's pretty bad. If it's an explosive trap, it's pretty bad. Freezing trap isn't great either. But I can't just sit here and do nothing, so I'm going to attack in. Nothing triggers. It's not a freezing, it's not an explosive. Could still be snakes. I mean, could be rat trap, could be a few things. Turns out to be snipe, so that's not too bad. He does kill off my free one, which is kind of annoying. I'm able to play out a 2-1 here as well, so pretty well averted crisis there. We've got the Blessing of Kings coming up on turn 4, which is obviously a super strong curve play. He's going to play the bow here, and I assume kill that mech there, which he actually doesn't. He chooses to kill the 2-1. I guess that makes sense because it trades favorably into his guy, but it can be a little bit dangerous with mechs magnetizing together. So I'm going to play the Blessing of Kings here. I choose not to trade. Again, trading there could have been right as well, but losing 5 damage to push to the face is a pretty big loss in an aggressive deck like this, where you're hoping to get them down pretty quick. So he's going to play the Sandbinder there. Not the best tempo play for him, a little bit slow, which is really good for me. And then he's just going to hit face with the Secret Keeper and hold the bow charge. So here I've got a couple of options. I can play the Candle Taker and a Sand Wasp. I can play the History Buff and a Sand Wasp. Or I can play either of the 3-cost cards and Hero Power if I want to use all 5 mana. The History Buff is a pretty strong card. It's definitely not strong enough to make it into a deck where you're only playing duplicates and only got 15 to 20 cards. But in this deck where you have to obviously fill the full 30 slots with 30 different cards. It definitely does make the cut just as a way to buff up your minions, especially buffing on the 1-cost minions is super nice. Buffing on the Tyrion with Taunt is super nice. Again, I just choose to hit face twice here. He's getting kind of low, down to 12 health, which is good, and I've got a pretty strong board here. Again, the biggest thing I'm probably scared of here is secrets. Secrets can kind of really ruin my day. Also, the Zephyrs obviously is bad. So we're just kind of going to have to hope that he doesn't have that here. And he does actually turn out to have the Zephyrs, which is pretty unfortunate. The perfect card here could be some kind of whiteboard silence, though he doesn't have enough mana for Master Spell, which would have been strong. On this turn, he ends up picking up the Shadow Word Death, which is a pretty good answer to my 5/7 there, which is kind of the biggest threat on the board. He does do some trading there. Again, he's going to choose to hold the bow charge just because he doesn't have a secret in play and he wants to get the value out of that, especially because he only has one bow, given it being a singleton deck. So super annoying. I can't magnetize this onto my already existing mech that he killed. I would have had him very close to dead had I been able to do that, but I do play it out anyway. It's a sticky minion, obviously producing 3 1/1 microbots when it comes out, which are also good targets for magnetization if I happen to draw something off the top. Still 2 turns away from Tyrion here, which is, at this point, it's looking like could be my best bet at winning this game. The finisher, obviously, even if he manages to kill it, I'm going to get that weapon and be able to hit him down with that. He's going to start with a secret here, which obviously buffs the secret keeper, and then he's going to play that into the Hyena Alpha. So it's a pretty strong turn. He's definitely fighting back in terms of board presence here. He's going to be doing some trading. Looking at the secret, the most ideal secret for him here is probably Explosive Trap, although I feel like he definitely wouldn't have made those trades had it been Explosive Trap. So it's kind of some sort of information as to what it could be, possibly not Explosive Trap, but there are obviously still a lot of options. So I go to hit the face here, just kind of secret testing, not explosive, hit him down to 4. I am going to just spam some minions out, get a wide board and hope that something sticks. Obviously 4 health is pretty low, I've got the Tyrion in hand, so things are looking pretty good right now. He's going to start here by doing some trading, summoning those microbots, which means my board is super wide here. He's going to have like an Unleash the Hounds or something like that in order to be able to take off, in order to be able to clear my board, which he does actually have, so it's pretty good for him. Obviously with his 2 minions in play, he doesn't get the full value, but he's going to be able to trade off most of my guys here. He does still have 4 mana left, so here he's probably hoping to have something proactive to play on the board. Unfortunately for him he doesn't, he's just going to have the hero power there, meaning that if I top deck a magnetized minion, I've got the win. I don't, but I do draw the Leroy, which is the next best thing, or just as good, and so I am going to take the win there. So again, another example of this super aggressive and super successful Highlander Paladin deck at rank 5. Alrighty, thank you for watching to the end of the video if you did make it all this way. As always, any feedback, likes or subs are greatly appreciated. So I didn't really say it at the start, but this is episode 1 of September's Pushing to Legend series. I don't always make it to Legend just because, you know, life's busy and stuff like that, but hopefully we will make it this season. It'd be nice to be able to use a variety of decks so we can keep these videos interesting and also keep me interested while I am playing. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in episode 2.